Guess what, guys? We got a new project car. This is the Forester XT. But there's only one problem. It's not here. So I gotta go get it. This is it, our Forester XT. Well, it's broken. I think I know what's wrong with it, but you can tell just how long it's been sitting out here. There's rust all over the rotors. Overall, it's not in bad shape. Let's get it into the shop and figure out what we need to do to get this thing running. Now it's back in the shop. I want to talk about what we want to do with this thing. So we want to build like an off-road Forester, which has been done plenty of times, but I don't ever see very many that make a lot of power. And I'm talking like a good amount of power where you can punk on cars, well above its own weight class. We want to be able to, take it off-roading, go camping, go to the sand dunes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Eventually we want it to look something like this. Now, I don't know if that's going to be, exactly how it's going to look when it's all said and done, but that's kind of the idea or the concept behind this car. Obviously, it doesn't look anything close to that, but that's okay because that's part of the fun. This is essentially, well, I don't know if it's bone stock, but it's a pile of crap. When we got it, it did run, and then it broke. I suspect it's a clutch fork. But today, I want to go through the entire car and see everything we're going to need just to get it in running shape. Once we get it running, then we can start really throwing on the mods. So I hope you guys enjoy this series. This is, starting from ground zero, working up to a super badass lifted Forester XT. It should look, sound, and go the part. Let's jump into it. Before I get this car up in the air, I figure we might as well check what we can while it's on the ground. Oh my God, it's worse than I expected. What is that? It doesn't matter. Okay, we'll just plug that back in. Not really sure what that is. Some sort of oil. Oh, you know what I bet that was? I bet that was like a funnel to fill up the oil. That makes a lot more sense. You can see that's been leaking for a long time. I don't even know if there's a gasket in there. Okay, so that definitely needs to be fixed. But other than that, why I think it's the clutch fork is, the clutch pedal just falls to the ground, which it would make sense that it's a clutch fork. I assume we'll need to get that done, so I'll get that on order. We definitely need a new downpipe, which we might as well just do right away. I have no idea what the condition of the turbo is, so we'll have to check that. We'll need to check timing belt, all that kind of stuff. But let's get this car up in the air and let's check it out underneath. Might be a few reasons why we got this thing so cheap. Exhaust doesn't look to be in the best condition. Homemade brackets, which isn't the worst thing. What bothers me though is that they've welded onto the subframe to make their own hanger mounts. We have a broken control arm to end link mount. Looks like that other side's broken too, but at least they were running carbo end links. That's one thing we don't have to buy. This might have been a problem. Looks like the axle popped and it's kind of a little janky, I mean, underneath it actually, like the chassis itself isn't that bad. Pretty minimal rust. I mean, this is gonna be a really good starting point for what we want to do with this thing. Let's figure out what we need to do. I want to do this kind of in stages. First, I want to get it running, and then I want to lift it, and then we'll go for like more power. But if we're going to replace anything, we might as well replace it with something significantly better. So let's figure out exactly what we need to get for this car. I think I've got a pretty decent list down. So obviously, I'll order the clutch fork. I mean, I don't know if it's officially broken, but I'm pretty sure it is, so I'll just get that on order. We'll get some rear control arms or lateral links. We'll do a Grimspeed downpipe, a Tomei titanium exhaust, because why not? We'll get some new exhaust hangers for it. I'll get a turbo to downpipe gasket. And then, so tomorrow we'll take out the transmission. I might as well just put a clutch in there while we're in there. There's no sense in taking out the clutch twice, even though we'll probably remove the engine later. Maybe I'll get a clutch, but we'll inspect this, whatever one's in there, and we'll see the condition it's in. I just want to get this car running and driving once a car drives and you know we make sure everything's okay on it, like there's nothing else that needs 100% to be replaced, then we can start getting into the fun stuff. So priority number one is get this thing driving. I don't have time to do it today, so we'll get started on that first thing tomorrow. Let's just take the freaking transmission out right now. I mean, I know I'm not gonna be able to finish it today, but I'm gonna have to take the transmission out anyway. It's only about 2 o'clock. I've got a few hours. I'm sure I can get the transmission out in that time. Let's get started. So now we're gonna remove the lower ball joints, hopefully, because they're probably gonna be pretty rusted on, so I'm hoping that isn't gonna be too much problem. Pull the axles out, and then we can go back up to the top and start working there. Couldn't get the bottom ones off. I took out the top and it's moving a little bit. It's going so slow. These old Subarus, come on. There to pop. There it comes. All right, super easy. It only took about 45 minutes, but I got the ball joints. Now we can pop the axles out and then go to the top of the car. I thought this would go a lot faster, but sometimes they're just stubborn. Got these popped and released. The other side, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Next step, intercooler. It's very crunchy. Originally I said I thought the clutch fork was broken. Feels fine. I'm guessing underneath the throttle bearings popped out of the pressure plate. I can't get it to slam back in, or teeth are broken on the pressure plate. Guess we're gonna find out one way or another. It's too hard to point this camera at everything and shoot and try to uninstall stuff, so I'm just gonna go pack mine. Is what I was talking about. Now all the balls are still present, they're just not in their correct spot. Another thing that worries me, it looks like the pilot bearing was seized as well, so we'll throw in a new one of those. And then let's go back up underneath. So this has seen better days, but the turbo doesn't feel too bad. It's got a little bit of shaft play. Let's get the clutch and flywheel off. We'll put in a new throttle bearing, we'll replace the rear main seal, and hopefully we can put this thing back together. And that's it for this episode of our Forester XT build. I know we didn't get a lot done, but that's okay because next time, hopefully we'll be able to get the transmission back in, do some fun modifications, fix this car, and hopefully start it. And I hope that there's, you know, nothing wrong with it. But I'm really excited for this quest for this 500 wheel horsepower crazy Forester XT build. And we just got to get some of this stuff out of the way. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this episode, give me a thumbs up. If not, give me a thumbs down, and maybe think about a name for this car because we still haven't quite named it. So anyway, we'll see you guys next time.